Will they break the string with Jeremy McGrath as he tries for his 5th consecutive win at the start of the season? All right, get set now. It's gone halfway. They're revving it high. They're off, and McGrath with a great start. Larry Ward to the outside, number 6. Number 9 is Mike Brown. And Craig is in 4th as he got boxed out there at the beginning at the second turn. Yeah, but Jeremy McGrath is right where he wants to be.
Exactly. This isn't what we wanted to see. Jeremy's got an open track. He can take any line he wants, and that's not good for the other guys.
You can already see right there behind him in that corner, all 3 of those guys blocked each other out. Already opened up a huge lead for Jeremy McGrath. He's got about 3 seconds now.
So we might as well just go back to the battle for second place because that's where the fight is. Michael Craig, though, is going into the whoops. He wants to pick up that gap. Larry Ward's behind him. Mike Brown, Jeff Emming, and Phil Lawrence cuts to the inside in that group.
And you heard Mike Craig after the heat race. He wanted to be up there and run with Jeremy. Now he's got his opportunity right there in second place.
But if you'll notice, Jeremy already has a couple unique lines that no one else has taken. This section after the tight hairpin, he's jumping over the whole tabletop and making up a second right there.
Damon Huffman, who rode so well last week, still having to come from behind. I think that's the whole story. Last week he was able to run with Jeremy and move through the pack, but Jeremy's already gone.
Huffman in 7th position now as we take a look at number 2. Michael Craig, number 17 on the bike, but 2nd in this race.
If you look right there, he's looking back. He has to think about who's behind him and not about going forward, and that's going to hurt him when he's trying to catch Jeremy McGrath.
Jeremy doing all the jumps out of the turn as he whips through the whoop section right now with a substantial lead with only 3 laps gone.
Whoa, and Larry Ward, who I think had a better run in that whoop section using his long legs, he and Craig tangled through there. So all 3 of these Honda Troy riders really slowing each other down. That's letting McGrath just pull away even more.
Super Mac now a 4-second lead.
Emmett, who also rode fantastic in his race, the first guy to beat Jeremy McGrath in a long time, and definitely this year, right there behind all these riders. If he can ever get around them all, I don't think he'll have enough time to catch McGrath.
Now would be a great time to take a look at Jeremy McGrath and see actually what he's doing to the track as we look at a log jam here at second place.
Yeah, all these riders, they're thinking about each other. Emmett, see if you look, Larry Ward's looking at Emmett. Emmett's trying to block him. So they're just taking time away from each other, and they're not catching up to Jeremy.
I always knew when I was out front, Rick was going to come at me. He was going to come at me. He always did. He always focused on the riders in front of him. I didn't ever see Rick looking back at me when I was challenging, and that was the difference. And I knew that when I was out front, he was going to be focusing ahead. He always made me nervous. No one's making Jeremy nervous. He has nothing to worry about out front. Look at him. He's jumping all the way into that step section and all the way out. The only guy that can do it. He learned from Emming in the heat race.
Huffman went down, so he's way back. You're losing several positions now from that 5th spot that we announced earlier. Here's Jeremy McGrath out in front. Let's take a good look now at this smooth style Rick Johnson.
If you're watching what Jeremy...
Whoops, I'm sorry. We're going to hit the replay right now.
Well, that's what I talked about earlier. Larry Ward using those long legs. He was coming up the inside of Craig. Craig got out of control. Actually went into Larry Ward there, and they both slowed up a lot and gave another big lead to McGrath.
Okay, now to get the section on the track, it's the triple right before the finish line jump, Rick Johnson. And here we go back to second place. Michael Craig and Brown, they're going at it.
See, look, they're stopping in almost every turn just to try to take away the momentum of another rider. See, they're looking in, they're thinking about slowing the other rider down instead of just going forward and chasing down Jeremy. When Dave and I raced with each other, as much as possible, I tried not to slow myself down to keep him from passing me. I tried to run and hide from him. Many times it didn't work. I got tired. He passed me like our big battle at Anaheim. But
at least you could hold on to second.
Exactly. Get way out ahead of everybody and just race as fast as you can. But if you look, a lot of people are just racing for second now.
Michael Craig in second place, and he's looking for the best finish of the season. He's had a 6th, a 4th, a 6th, and a 9th in his last race at Seattle as he goes through the whoops. Here's Emmett behind him, number 2. Number 9 is Brown. Number 6 is Larry Ward. And Ezra Lusk is on the move, number 34 behind him.
And I like the way Emmett's running down that inside. He's not going to let anybody get inside of him. But the bad part to that is he doesn't leave him much margin for error. If he gets a little out of control through there, he's off the track.
And also, if you watch what Jeremy's doing, he's opening up the turns. He's taking his time. But you watch Emig, he's running down the insides and squaring off the turn, so it's killing his momentum coming off. And with this hard, slick track, you got to keep your speed in the corners up.
We're taking a look at Ezra Lusk, number 34, the bike to the left of the Suzuki, the yellow bike. You know, he came off a fourth-place finish in Seattle, but has done a magnificent job now of staying upright.
Yeah, you know, with these tracks and these young riders, everybody's shooting for Jeremy. He's the lone star out there that everybody wants to beat. He's the benchmark. When you get guys like Ezra that are great young riders, there's not a mix of riders that they can race with and grow with. Right now, everybody's trying to beat Jeremy.
Jeremy McGrath with a 9-second lead over the second-place bike of Michael Craig as he comes over the finish line. Bradshaw is way back in 12.
That was a nice move by Ezra. He's worked his way up from pretty far behind. You see he controlled the inside of that corner after the finish line jump. Got through there pretty quick on that hard slick stuff. He seems to be the fastest guy in this battle for second place right now. He's got the speed to catch Craig.
Rick, you had 4 wins here in San Diego, and there you see Mikel Pichon trying to restart his bike after stalling it, but you had 4 wins here in San Diego. Was it the hometown situation, or was it the style of track as far as the texture?
It was a little bit of everything. You know, growing up in Southern California, you ride on hard-packed tracks all the time, and as you can see, all those shiny spots, that's slick dirt. You got to have a lot of throttle control, so my practice track was very similar to this kind of dirt. But when it came to the hometown advantage, I ate at the restaurants I wanted to eat at. I slept in my own bed. I had friends and family. I had all the pressure and motivation to win because I wanted to be the best guy in San Diego.
Hughes has moved into 6th place behind Ezra Lusk, so we have Supermac out in front, Craig 2nd, Emig 3rd, Brown 4th, Lusk 5th, and Hughes in 6th. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath.
Now you're looking at the battle for second place. Emig is starting to put some pressure on Craig now. Emig finding his rhythm. These were the 2 fastest guys. They each won their heat races. Starting to put those block passes on each other. They're totally concerned with themselves. Just like Rick pointed out, they're not racing Jeremy McGrath. They're racing for second.
Right now, what I think we're going to have to hope for if we want to see a good race between Jeremy and Emig is that some lappers are going to get in the way. But if you notice, this track is pretty big. It's pretty technical. It's not getting spread out real bad. The guys, you know, Jeremy's going to get into some lappers later in the race, but I think they're going to be spread out far enough that he won't have a problem with any of them.
It will probably be too late when it happens as well.
Exactly.
The only advantage these guys may have is that when Jeremy catches up to them, in case they don't get that blue flag out there, which is what they use to warn the lappers, the leaders are coming. Those guys in second will already know that.
Let's go trackside to Davey Combs. Davey.
I'm here with Jeremy Albrecht. This is Jeff Emig's mechanic. What has Jeff been doing this week?
Well, he hasn't really been doing anything different. The only thing is we needed a start. We've been working real hard on starts, and he's been doing really good on starts. That's all I needed, I think. So he'll be good. He looks really strong.
Back upstairs, Art.
Jeremy McGrath in the lead and Emig in 2nd place. Let's take a moment now to pay the bills.
On ESPN2.
Welcome back to San Diego. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Rick Johnson, and Davey Combs bringing you the action right now. We're a pleasure to have Rick Johnson by our side here in his hometown.
It's a pleasure
Jeremy
to be here.
McGrath is out in front, number 1 with a big lead. Emig in 2nd, Craig in 3rd. Hughes has now moved into 4th with Brown and Lusk in that order.
Well, if you look at Jeremy, he's running a real smooth line. He's taking his time. He's watching what everybody else is doing. He's pacing himself off of that. Someone gets a little closer, he picks it up. If somebody falls back, he turns the throttle down a little bit. So right now, he's in control.
The Honda stopwatch, and he has about 11-second lead over the 2nd place rider, Michael Craig, or I should say Jeff Emig. Michael Craig in 3rd.
And number 5, coming past your screen right there, Ryan Hughes, the man on the move. He's worked up from a pretty terrible start. He needed a good start. Everyone needs good starts. You heard Emig's mechanic say that's all Emig needed. That's all he did during the week. That's the only change. And he sits in 2nd place, his best ride of the year.
Coming out of the pits over near the mechanics area is Kyle Lewis. He's had some bike problems. Brown is down, and so LaRocco now has moved up a notch.
Watch McGrath right here. He's jumping that quadruple jump. Goes into the whoop section. Overshot that berm a little bit right there. That's going to make this lap time a little slower. Remember, the 125 is running 56 seconds.
54.8. Let's go down to Davey Combs, who's with Pichon.
Mikel, you're out of the race early. What happened?
I crashed twice and my arm pumped up and I can't try it anymore. I don't know if it's a 250 or I don't know what it is, but after a couple of laps, my heart's pumped up. I had a good speed at the beginning, but I crashed. I hit the back wheel of LaRocco. I was passing him and he blocked past me in the corner, but I'm happy. I mean, that was my last race in the 50. I know I have a good speed, and we'll see next year.
Back upstairs.
While we were down to Davey, LaRocco just put a heck of a black pass on Ezra Lusk and moved into 5th position behind Hughes.
Well, it's just like always, LaRocco getting terrible starts consistently. And he's good at working his way through the pack, but by the time he finds his pace, it's too late. And when he does get a good start, he doesn't take advantage of it. McGrath just has no weaknesses that I can see.
No, and that's the thing that we talked about before the race. Is somebody's got to go after Jeremy. They got to upset his game. You know, with what they're trying to do, if they try to just ride, you know, jump for jump with him, they have to admit it. He's a step above everybody right now.
Ryan Hughes right there, his jersey is come untucked. I don't know if he got hooked up with somebody or what's going on there. You don't usually see it. That won't bother Ryan Hughes. There you see, pretty stocky, 5'10", 174 pounds. This guy's in shape, Art.
And only 22 years old. Let's go down to Davey Coombs. Davey.
I'm down here with Wyatt Seals. This is Ryan Hughes, the mechanic. What happened to Ryan on the start?
I'm really not sure. I couldn't see what went on during the first turn. All I know is he came out around, I don't know, 4 or 5 up from last. And he's got a good pace going. Just trying to keep him going. Hopefully he stays up. We can get on the podium.
Ezra Lusk has gone down now as we have a lot of riders getting a little tired. Could that long whoop section right here be apparent in that?
Oh, I think that's going to really wear him down because there's no possible way to memorize that section. All these guys have an incredible memory and keen sight, and they'll find their way through a section, do it the same every lap. You'll see that from McGrath especially, but that's so long, there's no way. You just got to kind of let it all hang out every lap, and that really works on you. And if you got any problems with arm pump, that's really going to irritate it.
Michael Craig in pursuit of Jeff Emig in a battle for second. Let's go down trackside once again.
I'm down here with Dean Baker. This is Michael Craig's mechanic. It looks like he's not going as fast as he was earlier.
Yeah, he was going real fast in his heat race. He came in with a win there, and this is his hometown. He just rides good here, so we're real happy.
We'll see him how close Ryan Hughes can get to Mike Craig. He's in 3rd right now.
I was just going to say they're happy now, but Hughes is on the run too, Ricky.
Exactly. Rhino is on the move. And as I think you might know, there's no love lost between these guys. They've been rivals since they were little kids. Now, and they had a big war down in Orlando. So now here it comes. They're both hometown boys. So who's going to be the fastest San Diego guy? So that's what they're shooting for right now.
Bradshaw's gone down as we check in Michael Craig and Ryan Hughes, number 5.
Ryan Hughes coming down the inside of that whoop section. If he can get close enough, I keep saying this. I know I sound like a broken record, but that's one of the best places on this racetrack to pass. And Hughes is faster there all day. Through practice, he was smoking through the whoops.
Well, and this track is very technical, which all Supercross tracks are nowadays. But when you jump up on when everybody jumps a double, it's hard to make up time. So when these guys are floating in the air, it's hard to make up time. But when you get a long section like those whoop-de-doos, where you got to hammer, hang on, strength, and try to keep your drive going, that's where the pass is going to be, like right here.
Watch Ryan up the inside.
He's making a charge on Michael Craig. Can he get him into the corner? Yes, he can. Craig tries to cut underneath, but Ryan Hughes has the advantage as they go over the triple and head for the finish line jump. It is Ryan Hughes moving into 3rd place. This could be a great podium run for Ryan Hughes.
That was a pretty good guess. I should play lotto tonight.
You called it. If he can hold there.
But if you look at Mike Craig, a little fire's out of him. Something happened. I don't know if maybe if he was holding his breath at the beginning of the race thinking he's going to catch Jeremy, or if he cased a double or a triple, you don't know. But something doesn't look right with Mike Craig. He doesn't have the same fire and motivation and determination that he had in the qualifier.
Did you see the wide eyes of Wyatt Seals, Hughes' mechanic?
Well, he's looking at the fact that there you see Emmett coming into our screen. Watch how close Hughes is right there. He's got the momentum. He's fast to the whoops too, but Emmett is going down the inside, so Hughes is going to have to find somewhere else to pass his teammate. He might have to get aggressive.
Behind Hughes and Craig, LaRocco and Huffman has moved into 6th place.
A lot of times you get a lot of motivation. It seems kind of backwards, but when teammates will get motivated to beat the other team because they want to be the #1 Kawasaki guy, the #1 Honda guy, or #1 Yamaha guy. So you might see a big rival between Emig and Hughes because Hughes is coming up.
And right there, McGrath just jumped that whole triple before the triple, turned a jump that no one else could do into a triple. He's making time everywhere.
He's got a pace going that's comfortable. He's in control of it, so he's not gonna push any things when it comes to passing lappers. He's just gonna take it easy.
He now has a 9-second lead on the second place bike, which is Emig. We're working right now at quite a comeback. After Damon Huffman went down, he is on the move.
Looks like, the best I can tell, he's in 6th place right now. What a good ride. And there you can look at Craig, and I agree with you, Rick. He doesn't have that fire anymore. It looks like he's just trying to settle for a 4th place finish.
We go down now to Davey Combs.
All right, I'm standing here with Brian Lunas. This is Damon Huffman's mechanic. What kind of signals are you giving him at this point in the race?
Well, he's just trying to figure out who's the next guy in line because he was so far back off the start. So we're just working his way up to La Rocca.
All right, back to work.
You could tell he was anxious to get back on that pit board, Brian Lunas.
One thing very impressive about Damon Huffman, if you watch him, he's doing the same jumps in the same rhythm as Jeremy. So he fell down and he's way back, but he is being innovative and he's trying the things that Jeremy is doing. So, you know, he's there. He just needs to get the start, and maybe they can come out and fight together.
Jeremy holding a consistent 8-second lead as we take a look at the champion.
Just as you pointed out, Rick, coming in and out of the corner before the triple, Huffman is also the only guy other than McGrath to jump that big triple. One thing that Huffman is doing a lot faster than McGrath is through the whoop section. Perhaps McGrath knows that takes a lot out of people. With that big of a lead, he's not taking any chances.
Let's go to Davey.
I'm down here with Skip Norfolk. Skip, how important was it to Jeremy to reestablish his dominance tonight?
Well, it's real important. You know, we were changing some things. We were a little slow in practice, trying to make up for it. Ended up making him uncomfortable. I mean, this guy's amazing. We go back to what he knows, what he's comfortable with, and he's ripping off laps like this. It's, you know, my hat's off to him. The guy's incredible. We had his head all screwed up earlier, and he put it back on and was out there hammering on him.
Well, it was the first heat that Jeremy McGrath did not win on the season, Rick.
Yeah, and they went head-to-head. It was a good race. So I think that that was something that people need to look at. Not just Jeff Emig, but every other rider. Hey, he's been beat. They both started 1-2. Emig passed him, and then it went back and forth, and he ended up winning the race. So they need to know he can be beat.
On his way to his 5th consecutive victory to start a season to tie his record along with Rick Johnson's record. And all eyes will be turned toward Atlanta as we look at the final lap by Jeremy McGrath.
Let's see if he can still do that section right here. This is that triple I was talking about. Yeah, the last lap. Okay, I'm going to tell you, that is a ballsy section through there. I can't believe he could do it.
It's completely blind, and he jumps right over the top of it like it's not even there. So he's just showing his dominance.
Jeremy McGrath, and here's your second place rider, Jeff Emig. It'll be his finest finish of the season. Back to our leader, Jeremy McGrath, as we follow him on the last lap. Over the triple, only a few feet to go as he takes a look at the checkers for his 5th consecutive victory. He won in Orlando, he won in Minneapolis, he won in Anaheim, he won in Seattle, and now takes number 5 here in San Diego. Jeff Emig in second place. We'll be back with